So you're ready to send emails off to parents now. Let's go into an assessment. So we're going to tap assessment. We're going to go to view assessments, the assessment list, so the list of all the assessments we've done so far. And I'm going to go to that short division one that we were doing previously. So I'm just going to tap on the word short division or the little green box with the arrow, either one. And here's where I kind of left off in the last video. Now I want to send these out to parents in an email. So I can tap this select button over at the top kind of left hand side here, and when I tap it again, it gets rid of all the selection, and tapping selects them all. So I can select the students I want to send an email to, or I can select them all. If I don't select anyone, it'll automatically think I want to do them all. You'll see here, if I don't select anyone, and I go up to this, let's do one other thing. I put a little, I copied and pasted that same little photo in here just to pretend there was some kind of evidence in this, just so you can see what happens in the email. And I'm gonna, maybe in this one, I'll just do a quick audio, just so you can kind of see what would happen as well. Someone save that. So I've got 2 pieces of evidence, and let's say I'm gonna send it to these 2 people. Now, the problem is one of these students is, I'm going to go to home for a second. I'm going to go into students. I'm going to go student list. And you can see here, anybody home, and just in case here, both of them have this blue plus sign at the end of theirs. So Guardian's emails, I just put the same email in a bunch of different ones, pretending that some don't have emails and some do. These would be actual parents' emails. I just put this in so it automatically sends it to this junk email for me, which automatically clears stuff out. So, but for this one here, you can see with this plus, I'm going to tap on that blue plus by anybody home, and you'll see that in here, if this parent doesn't speak, if the parents don't speak English, then you can tap this here and pick a language, any language you want. I just chose French for this one. And then submit. So this would be like if the parents don't speak English and they only speak French. Oops, did I get French there? Good, submit. All right, so a little different is going to happen when I email this parent. Just so I wanted to kind of show you what would happen if, and why it's happening. So I'm going to go back to assessments, assessment list, back to short division. I'm going to sort this by student name again, just so I can see them. Oh, not student name, sorry, rating. And so it's mainly the top 2 that I'm going to do. But if I didn't select anyone and I tap this send button at the top of the right screen here, you can see email selected students. So I'm going to tap that, and it says email all 17. It'll ask that if there's no one selected. If I put OK, it's going to send an email for each of these students. But I'm going to cancel that because I'm not going to send one out to everyone. I'm just going to send 2 out. So I'm going to do this rating again. I'm just going to send it out to these 2, maybe even 3. Okay. So what happens is it sends a separate email for each student to whatever email you have in that student list that we just looked at. So if I go here and I tap that button again, selected students, you see this looks messy, it looks complicated. You know what's going on? It says click it's French. This is the French one. It does kind of any of the special ones first. So this here, gobbledygook, it looks gobbledygook right now. It's really just written in a way that it'll send it to Google Translator. You'll see what happens in a minute for the parent, and it'll translate that. So that's why that looks like that. It's taking the information that's in the record and putting it in this kind of weird link format. So don't worry about what that looks like. Down here, though, you can see that it says audio. The audio is attached for that person. So the parent would get the email with the link and the attachment of the audio. And I'm going to change this. And I'm going to put in Fantasal G. Patrick Gmail. There we go. Sorry. So I'm going to send it to that, and I'm going to send. So if everything looked fine to me, I press send. Then I bring up the next student. So this is Harris on Fire. You can see down here. Gives the subject a short division. That's what the assessment is. Harris on Fire. The subject is mathematics, assessment short division. That's the date. The score, the rating, and the comment that we put in. Still doesn't look like a link right now, but it will when they receive it. And this one has a PDF rather than the little video or the audio that we sent. This when the parent clicked on this, it would show that photo in as a PDF that we attached as evidence. And so then I'm going to send that. It's going to, I'll change this to Pat. And there we go. And send. And then there's another one that has French. I'm going to send that one. I'm just going to send it to the junk. Oh, and then one more. I got 3 or 4 here. Okay, so, and this is Hugo. And I'm going to send that. And that's going to a junk one. So I really only sent 2 to an email. And we're going to look at that just right now, just so you can see. So let's take a look at my mail for a second. And I'm going to go to Gmail and short division one. So let's take a look at this short division. So this is the one that a parent would be receiving. So I'm the parent receiving it. And if I do, you can see if I do tap on these here, I'll just tap on this short video here. It'll open up the video for the parent. And I'm just going to pause that, stop that, and go back to the mail. And the other one would take to the practice sheet as well. So you can see how the links work. If I go to this one, this says in French, click on this the link below, basically, to read it in French. That's what it kind of says. So it says, click on this link down here to read this in French. And whatever language it was, it would basically say, click to read. So I click this, opens up, and you can see here, it opens up and translate. You can see over on the left-hand side, it's in English, just so you can see. And on the right-hand side, it's in French. So you can see it's still formatted really the same way. Anybody home? It says mathematics, short division, has the score and everything else with the links and everything. So basically just sent it through Google Translator so the parent can read it. And the only other thing I wanted to show is when you go to send your emails, so I'm going to go back to here. If I choose this to send to this person, when this comes up, right now it's putting in patrick.fantasla@cg.catholic.edu.au. Let's say your personal email is coming up. That's your default one, and you don't want it coming from your personal one. You want it coming from a school one to send home. And if this is the case, you'd have to change this every time, go in and tap on it and change it to your other email, which is a pain. So you want to make this one, whatever your school one is, you want to make it your default email. So I'm going to show you just quickly. I'm going to delete that draft. If you go to your settings, so I have settings open here already, but if you go to settings, scroll down to mail, and you go down to the very bottom of mail, you'll see default account is at the bottom. If you tap that, it'll give you choices of all your email accounts. And you just choose the one that you want as your default. And then that will be the one that will be continually sending out your email from this iPad.